Hi there. I promise I'm not crying. I just put eye drops in my eyes because I'm tired. Because it's 7 o'clock in the morning and my husband took our 3 boys to breakfast and I should be sleeping, but I'm not. So I'm making this video for you guys out there who are dealing with melasma and hyperpigmentation and even acne scarring. As you can see, my lighting's not the best, but I think it gives you guys an actual representation of, you know, bad skin and kind of the struggles in trying to cover it up. I've tried a bunch of different products that are drugstore and some are high-end and haven't necessarily come up with the perfect combination to cover all of this, but I'll probably be making a couple different videos to show you the products that I have, and maybe it will help some of you learn a few things about how to cover it. And also my hope is to maybe solicit some help from professional makeup artists that are out there, because there's just not a lot of videos that show how to cover this up. There are a few, but most of them don't have the coverage that I have or the darkness. I just really haven't found the perfect way to cover it up. So I'm going to show you kind of what I do that makes it a little bit better. And I should also say that my husband does not like me wearing a lot of makeup, so I have that challenge too. Like, I cannot have like cakey face makeup because he just doesn't like it. So I'm going to start out by putting Professional. My face is just clean. I just cleaned it with a salicylic acid face wash. I use like a Neutrogena one. And I put a moisturizer on. It was just a Garnier gel-based moisturizer. I use Retin-A on my skin, and sometimes it's dry and sometimes it's oily depending upon my hormones and my mood and the season. I just never know. I just kind of gotta wake up in the morning and ask my skin if what it's going to do today and make the best guess is what I am going to use. And so what I found that really works well for me, I bought it in a set at Walmart. I believe it was around $20. It's the Super CC by Physicians Formula in light to medium. It comes with a powder that when I first got it, it had a bunch of different colors. You could see the specks on it. I don't know if you can see that, purple and green and yellow. And a concealer, which is a good concealer. It's kind of runny. You know, there are a few that are better, but this one works pretty good and it matches my skin. This is what I would use on blemishes. It's not strong enough to cover up any of this, so that's what I have. So I would start after the Professional. I just put it on the areas that I have pores, and then I have this Age Rewind, which is kind of a peach base, very runny concealer. And I hope this hasn't been discontinued. I picked this up at like Big Lots, so. But I like it because it's very thin, so it does not give me the cakey face look. And it's got that peach tone that will cover up some of this darkness. So since I have a large area, I pretty much have to paint my face with concealer. And again, if you know of a better way, please let me know. So I just try to cover the areas that are the worst. There's really not going to be any covering these dark circles because I'm tired because I have 3 little kids. I should say a lot of this melasma is hormonal, and I have a set of twins that are 5, so that was my last pregnancy. So I've had this for a good 5 years. I'll wear sunscreen. I've been using Retin-A for about 6 months. Before that, I was using different, and it's just not going away. I did just start last December a progesterone regimen because I figured out my body makes too many hormones, and it is helping. It has faded, believe it or not, as bad as it is now. It used to be worse, and I'm super excited that the mustache is gone, so that makes me happy. But I'm just starting to realize that this is probably just going to be an ongoing struggle with me, and I know there are people out there that have even worse issues with acne scarring and pitting and texture, and I don't have that, so I guess I'm grateful for where I am. So you can see that does a pretty good job of covering it. I have a couple other ones. So far this one works the best. Hope they didn't discontinue it. So this says it's a CC cream, which I guess is like a BB cream or a tinted moisturizer, but it has incredible coverage for those. It's more just like a foundation, and I found my hands work the best. I have a bazillion makeup brushes over here, but my hands seem to blend it into my large pores and melt it into my skin better, but I don't know if you can tell that in the camera. It's actually pretty thick for a CC cream, but what I really like about it is it has that peach undertone, and I don't know, for whatever reason my skin seems to have a peach undertone naturally, and then the peach also helps to cancel out a lot of that darkness. I do have an issue with going in like this, and it doesn't matter whether you use a beauty blender or a brush. It does move some of that concealer I just put down, and that's just how it is. So, you know, if I move too much of it, I'll go back in and put more on top, just in the areas I need it, because again, I'm trying to provide, you know, a natural coverage, yet, you know, do my best to fake good skin, and just really just want good looking skin, not looking like I have a lot of makeup on. So I don't know if you can tell, maybe if my first video, maybe if there's some way I can figure out with that editing software how to put a before and after picture up there so you can see, like, you know, for a CC cream, and this is not high definition, but you know, and mostly I got a little crusty acne there, not a lot I can do about that except try to leave it alone, but it doesn't really look like I got a lot of makeup on, and you know, most of that's covered, so for a drugstore product, you know, it's not too bad. So I know a lot of you would probably go in now and contour and highlight and all that good jazz, which I will do some just so that my face looks a little bit natural, not necessarily to carve out any amazing face, because really I'm just trying to look natural. But I usually powder this first before I do that, because I find that it helps keep everything from moving. So I'm going to try to hit this again because I can still see it. Just pat it in with my fingers. I have all these wonderful brushes over here, but honestly, it's Saturday, and because of my acne, I have to be neurotic about cleaning them every time, and I just don't want to have to wash, you know, 10 makeup brushes today. So I'm just going to use my fingers because it's much easier to wash those in one sweep. They were very clean when I started, so if you're worried about that. So there you have it. I'm going to go in with this CC powder, mostly just because I use the other two products. Well, I'm going to use the concealer in a minute. Actually, maybe I'll use that first on this acne thing. The concealer is in a little twisty tube like this. Don't necessarily like it, but it is a pretty good concealer. It's not super thick. It's actually very thin. So I may actually have to get something a little thicker out. And it's, as you can see, a tiny bit lighter than the foundation. This is not got a color on it. Maybe it's on the cap. It's light medium, but for some reason it doesn't match the light medium in the CC cream. Oh well. The powder actually has a little bit of coverage to it, so it will go over all of that and help smooth it out, hopefully. So usually at the end I'll use like a really light powder brush, like this is a flower one. Got it in a kit at Christmas time. For now I'm going to go in with the Real Techniques because I do want a little bit of coverage from this powder, especially where I have the problem. But I really got to set all that stuff I just put on my skin, because when I go to put in all the other colored powders, which I probably won't even do on camera because, let's face it, I don't even know. I need more help than I can give on that, but I'll pop back in once I get all the rest of everything on so that you can see the finished product. So, and you can still see it. It's just how it is. Hopefully I'm going to come down here with my contour and a little bit of blush. Sometimes it just ends up looking blotchy. And sometimes. You know, if I hold my mouth right, it comes out looking okay. So this is not high definition, but hopefully you can see that. Alright, so I'm back, and sorry, my phone was full, so just struck it up as to one of the poorest decisions I made, or a first world problem, but don't ever buy the 16 gigabyte iPhone because it's always full. So I didn't put any more coverage on my face. I continued with the powder, which I think I showed you that before the cut off. I cut the camera off, straightened my hair a little bit, still in my husband's t-shirt, but gonna change that in a little bit, and finish the rest of my makeup. And so this is kind of the finished look. I'll show you the products that I used, but you can kind of see the little bit of contour. I don't like to contour a lot because, like I said earlier, I'm not necessarily even sure what I'm doing, but it helps cover a little bit of that. And then try not to use too much of a highlight because of my large pores, and just try to play up my eyes a little bit, so maybe just to take attention away from all this. But I think, you know, it's covered enough, especially for a day that you're spending with your kids on a Saturday, not necessarily for photos. So this is the finished product. I hope that you found it helpful. I'll do my best to list all the products that I used in the description bar, and I'll show you here a picture of them. And I'll show you, here's some of the products that I used. The NYX Contour Kit, which I absolutely love. These NYX blushes, I have to use 2 because my Ulta won't restock, so that's annoying, but I mix those 2 together, and you know, I don't use a whole lot of blush anyway. The CC creams I used, unfortunately I did end up using, I think, exactly 10 different brushes, so I'll wash all those. Anastasia brow gel, this is gel eyeliner from Maybelline, and I do use 3 mascaras. So someday maybe I'll make a video, if anyone ever watches these, that says why it's high maintenance. And then I just wanted to give a shout out to this. This is an NYX eyelash curler. It's like $3, Walmart. Some pharmacies carry in YC, but it's a very good eyelash curler for the money. So I'll try to list all the products I used and the colors in the description bar. So I thank you for your time. I hope this video wasn't too long, and I hope that it helped you figure out a more natural way to try to cover this up if you have a lot of skin problems. And please, if you know of a better way, sorry, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll flip these off. There's my face in natural lighting. If you know of a better way to cover this up, please tag me or post a video or do whatever they do in magical YouTube land. And I did want to say I do use 3 mascaras, but I'm not wearing false eyelashes. These are my lashes, so I mean, I think the end result is worth it. So anyhow, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye now.